There's a strange silence that shows up when you stop keeping score. No ranking, no milestones, no comparison, just you without numbers attached. If you've ever wondered who you are when nothing is being measured, for a long time, I didn't know who I was without metrics. Progress, growth, success, all the ways the world keeps track of whether your life is moving in the right direction. When I stopped comparing myself to others, something unexpected happened. I felt unanchored, not relieved, not free, just unsure. Because comparison, as exhausting as it is, gives you reference points. It tells you where you stand, how you're doing, what's expected next. Without it, I had to ask a harder question. If no one is watching, who am I trying to be? That question lingered. At first, I tried to replace the scoreboard. I measured discipline, measured consistency, measured how aligned I was becoming. But that was just comparison wearing a quieter costume. Eventually, even that fell away. And what remained was unfamiliar. I noticed how often my identity had been shaped by reaction. I was the reliable one because others needed me to be. I was the patient one because conflict exhausted me. I was the quiet one because noise felt dishonest. None of those were false, but none of them were complete. Without the scoreboard, I could finally see the difference between who I was and who I became to survive. That distinction mattered. Some parts of me were chosen, others were adaptive. I had learned to be useful, to be dependable, to be agreeable, not because that was my nature, but because it kept things stable. When you stop measuring yourself externally, those adaptations start to loosen, and that can feel like loss. You're not sure what remains once you stop performing the versions of yourself that kept you accepted. I had to sit with that uncertainty, not rush it, not fix it, just notice. I noticed that beneath all the roles, there was a quieter center, not ambitious, not passive, just present. That presence didn't care about being ahead, didn't care about being impressive. It cared about coherence, about moving in ways that didn't fracture me internally. That was new. Without the scoreboard, I wasn't chasing progress. I was choosing posture. How I spoke, how I listened, how I responded under pressure. Those choices didn't accumulate into milestones. They accumulated into character. And character doesn't announce itself. It shows up when nothing is at stake and no one is watching. I realized that identity built on metrics is always fragile because it depends on external confirmation to remain intact. But identity built on alignment, on choosing what feels true even when it's inconvenient, that stays with you when everything else falls away. If you're listening to this and feeling unmoored because you stopped comparing yourself, you're not lost. You're just meeting yourself without the noise, and that meeting doesn't come with applause. It comes with clarity. Let's say you're walking into a gym late at night. The lights are on, but the bleachers are empty. No crowd, no referee, no scoreboard ticking away overhead. Just you, the court, and the sound of the ball echoing. You start playing, not to win, not to be seen, just because you know how. Without a scoreboard, every move feels different. There's no tally to chase, no proof to collect. You notice your breath, your footwork, your rhythm. You realize how much of your effort used to be shaped by watching numbers, scores, stats, approval. Without them, you're left with a simple question. Do I still play when no one's counting? That's who you are without the scoreboard. Not the version chasing validation, the version that shows up because the act itself still matters. And once you meet that version, you stop needing the crowd to tell you who you are.